Yeah, my interest in Tibetan calligraphy started when I was a monk. We were all the time reading from old manuscripts, some of them very delicate, they'd nearly fall apart when you turned the page, you know, they're these loose leaf pecha. Very grubby and sometimes quite difficult to read. And because I was artistic, you know, I put my, even though I was dyslexic, it didn't seem to matter. That didn't seem to matter, you know. I wanted to overcome that. I started copying these manuscripts that we had to use on a daily basis. And my teacher, Akram Rinpoche, would come and look over my shoulder, and he was very much my quality control master as well. And he would like say, well, you know, that downstroke from the letter Gai, it looks like a crooked old twig from a tree. You know, you should be nice and elegant and you know, graceful. And so, okay, Rinpoche, yes, you know, and I'd practice that and perfect it more and more and more. My teacher was quite hard, a Tibetan lady, and even when we were quite smug and we thought we were really clever, you know, and we could actually write sentences and memorize sentences and all this sort of thing, composing Tibetan, writing it, out of the blue, she'd suddenly say, okay, now write out the alphabet again. And you're like, oh, you know, you'd forgotten how to write it. Like, oh, you know. Now I teach it. Now I teach Tibetan all over the world, and I'm just about got the hang of knowing the alphabet properly by heart. Because when you teach, you know, you have to, you know, you learn when you teach. You learn more when you teach. In the beginning, when you're learning, I wouldn't call it calligraphy. It's learning how to write Tibetan. Calligraphy implies a beauty in the handwriting. You know, calligraphy is, as many of us will know, it comes from the Greek calligraphy. Calli means beautiful, and graphy means letter, form, you know, writing. So in the beginning, it was just to learn by heart. That was the difficult thing, by heart, just the alphabet. You know, we used to make flashcards with how to pronounce it on the back and test each other, you know, the alphabet, and then all the superscribed and subscribed letters and how it would sound with the vowel sign and etc. And we'd practice that. And then, you know, my ability became recognized within the monastery that, you know, it was nice to read, legible. And because I was doing the practices, the sadhanas myself, I was well versed with the particular sadhanas that I was copying out. So I knew when, for example, if anybody's, you know, practices in this way, would know to leave a certain amount of gaps between some of the shlokas, what they call sentences, enough room to write in your little music notations and things like that. So the composition was very important for practical reasons. And so that's how it began. You could say that in the old kind of Christian way of working out of devotion, I worked as a scribe. You know, as a scribe copying Tibetan manuscripts. And some of these manuscripts I was given to copy down, and they'll be copied down in order to be printed. So I was working on big spreadsheets, printed and to be used on practical levels. And some of these manuscripts would take me a whole year to get through. So the quality, I had to maintain this quality as being good at the beginning to the middle to the very end. And to maintain that quality over a long period of time, it means that every time you come every day to sit down to do the writing, you had to be very mindful, very clear. You can't be too influenced about what's happening to you emotionally, or, you know, or whatever, or maybe you had too much cheese the day before. So anything that can affect the writing, you have to be really professional. So it became a practice in itself. It became a meditation in itself, you know. And I still today write calligraphy from a meditative point of view. It's a practice. It's a practice. That awareness, that clarity, you know, the spaciousness spaciousness and freedom of mind, undistracted, to maintain the beauty of form. That's called calligraphy. And good calligraphy, good writing, more especially as a large art piece, there's a spirit that comes through. We say the spirit's the life of the calligraphy. That's good calligraphy. So copying these ancient texts was a brilliant discipline. Again and again and again and again, copying, perfecting, and perfecting. So that was my discipline and how I learnt.